Matt. Well, we are back with another episode. Episode 37 now, in the thick of the NBA playoffs at this point. Um, some other crazy NBA news today that we will also get into with the draft lottery, but kind of crazy how that stole the show a little bit just based on, the result,
Yep.
if you don't know, but we'll get to later. But we'll start off with the playoffs, and the remaining series. So I guess we can start with the West because there's been, actually both sides have had pretty good like drama at this point now. But we'll start
You
with
say
that
drama. There's been injuries
drama and
now.
injuries. Yeah, so I think a lot of outcomes, unfortunately, are going to be predicated on health, which oftentimes it does, but sucks when it happens to the star players, right? And then starting with the Warriors, Matt. Obviously Steph hamstring, like you you never know with the hamstring, right? I think was it game one at the end of game one or
It was like second quarter, I
oh
think,
yeah, yeah.
when he got
So
hurt.
yeah, but somehow, Warriors still played well. I think they ended up winning game one, right? Without Steph. And
That's
Ant had a
correct.
bad game. Just I mean,
There.
they're just a veteran group. I think veteran leadership. You didn't expect this series to be a sweep at all, but I think we've seen since then, you know, Minnesota is they're a good team. They took the Lakers in five, and now they're after tonight. Are they up 3-1? I believe. Yeah, so they're
3-1
up three
going
to
back
one.
home.
Yep, up 3-1, going back home. Even after that game two scare he had, which is crazy because it looked bad, especially with him walking off the court. He had to get helped off the court. So I'm like, ooh, maybe. Obviously, we want to see Steph and out there. But I'm just thinking in terms of basketball wise, maybe it would make the matchup a little more even throughout the series, right? Obviously, everything is centered around Ant and Steph, but Ant, I'm sure the dude is also like he's younger, so the recovery and the healing, I'm sure it's a little bit different from Steph, who what is Steph like 37 now or something like that. So obviously the body is gonna heal a little bit faster, right? And Ant being as freaky athletic as he is, like I mean, even if he's at 80% of his athleticism, it's still, you know, the top 10% in the league probably. Because that dude, like, I feel like he's not that tall actually. Like, he's only like 6'4", 6'3" maybe in reality. But
He's
the
built.
hops that he has is, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like,
He's built like
he
a
was,
muscular running back.
yeah, and he would have been an athlete. And he talked about all the time, right? Like, oh, I was good at everything. I would have been good at any sport. Honestly, like, can't believe it with just how like freaky athletic and coordinated that guy is. But anyway, um, yeah, series kind of feels a little over. Um, it would have been great to see Steph come back, but it's just hard for me to see the Warriors, especially with how they've looked the past several games now without Steph, um, able to take one in Minnesota. And we know that crowd, like they come out in full force, right? They're ready, they're hungry. This team, I think especially is hungry. Um, they're just playing good basketball, and let's be honest, without Steph, like obviously the Warriors are not the same team. So I expect it to get closed out on Wednesday in Minnesota. Will probably be the Ant-Man show again. Um, and I don't know, this team is just too good. I will say I've been surprised with the play of Julius Randle too. He had a good game today. 31 points. I think in the previous game, he had a triple double, which is, I mean, you know, not expected out of Julius Randle, but I think it just shows you the growth that he's also had, from his career from Lakers to Pelicans in New York and now on the Timberwolves. Kind of has this stigma around him of, can't just a stats guy, just a stats guy. But I mean, well, you saw him in the Lakers series, Matt. He was definitely a difference maker out there with his play. And yeah, if he can continue for them, like I think he's kind of that X factor for them moving forward. So
Hmm. I
I hate to
agree.
say it, yeah. If Steph had played the entire series thus far, I mean, I think it's a completely different story. Obviously, um, I would say it's at least 2-2, if not even could have been 3-1. Golden State. You never know, right? That's how good Steph is, and that's the effect he has on that team. But just unfortunate that he's probably not gonna get um to play again. But I'm sure, Matt, that Minnesota's keeping it in the back of their minds, right? Like this game
Well, that's
five, it
why.
comes with a
Yep,
lot of pressure. Like we
that's
need to
why.
close them out now. 'Cause if we're going back home, or we're sorry, we're going back to Golden State with Steph coming back, it's like, ooh, the pressure is on. So I think Minnesota has to take care of business. And if not, they might start to feel it a little bit in that game six.
That's actually a good point because I actually think game five, there's more pressure on Minnesota in this game. Like
Oh yeah.
Golden State's playing with house money right now. Like they have literally nothing to lose at this point. But just that one game, like if you let Steph come back, you know the type of life that he's gonna bring. He's the face of the franchise for a reason. They're gonna be ready to play game six, I think. Even if Steph isn't necessarily 100%, he might be a little rusty, but you know what? If Steph Curry's on the court, you're still gonna have to respect his ability to score the ball and shoot the ball, which means they can go into their action. They're going to trap Steph. He's going to dump it to Draymond, and they're going to play 4-on-3, and that's basically the recipe for Golden State. You're going to need guys like Pajemski and Heel to hit open threes. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's going to have to play better, but with Steph being there, there's going to be less attention on those guys. So I'm just saying, it's not over by a long shot, but it's going to be tough for
I don't know,
Golden
man.
State to win Game Five.
Yeah, I
But if
feel
they
like
can
it's
get
pretty
it, if
over.
they can get it, if they
Oh
can
yeah.
just somehow pull off a miracle, get it to Game Six, Steph comes back, and then if you get it to Game Seven, it's home court doesn't matter at that point. And Golden State, do they really care about home court in Game Seven? No, they've continuously showed over the course of years and literally just last series, they're not afraid to go on the road and win. So there's a lot of pressure on Minnesota, I think, to come out in Game Five and win. But if Ant Edwards plays like this, then it's a wrap. I'll just say
Yeah, I
that.
think so. It's pretty much over. He kind of found his groove again. He had a tough game one. Even his game two, he didn't really need to do a ton. Didn't really shoot the ball that much. But found his footing again. And yeah, if he's hot again like that, forget it. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty over, but you never know, especially with the
Never
Warriors.
know. Hey, Jimmy, remember when Jimmy was with the Heat and then they were playing the Lakers in the
Yeah, we
finals,
need
and it
that
was like,
miracle,
well,
that one hero Jimmy game. Like
yeah,
he just needs to put on his cape one time, just I don't even know, take 40 shots, honestly.
yeah, he needs to be more aggressive, I think.
Yeah.
But that
But
was
we'll
Golden
see.
State's strategy.
It is
It
hard though,
was
right?
just get one. Jimmy just needs to give them one before Steph comes back, and he's down to his last chance, basically. But
Yeah.
he just needs to get one. If he can get one, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I think similar to the Luca trade, right? It's hard to get acclimated. Like you're still a great player, right? But honestly, it's hard to get acclimated to a new team and feel that comfortable in such a short period of time. So, I mean, if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm saying, all right, Jimmy, let's get real. Like, we're gonna have to play through you. How do you want to do it? What is it? What are we gonna do? What are you most comfortable doing out there on the court? Do you want to take the ball up? Do you not? You know, like the little things like that. And then you're just gonna have to pray that the offense comes off of that. Like you said, the role players got to step up. Someone's got to be there. Buddy had that big game 7. They need that exact same type of performance from someone. Um, will they get it? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. But I don't know. Feels over to me. Um, well, anyway, we can move on to the other series in the West. Interesting here. This series, I think, was a little bit surprising to most that it's probably tied. I don't know. I think we both, well, you said OKC in
At
6,
OKC in 6.
and I think I said OKC in 7. So it's still like tracking ish. We both, didn't expect Denver to go down without a fight, but it is interesting that, Denver got somehow won 2 games in this series. Because it really feels like, at least gameplay wise, the Thunder have kind of dominated, right? I mean, in the wins, it's like blowouts. So it just feels weird that somehow the Nuggets managed to get 2 games. Although maybe I mean, that just goes to show you how big that game 1 was, right? Because, I
They
mean,
stole that one.
they stole it, right? The Thunder kind of blew it, but I mean, give Denver credit. They stole one. Aaron Gordon again. Shout out Russ, by the way. Got to give him some love, making the right play there. Uh, not a it somehow always comes down to, will Russ make the play or not? And he made the play this time, right? So kudos to him. That game 1 obviously saving them in this series, because if not, you're down 3-1, and with how OKC has been looking, yeah, that's a little tough. But I think the biggest thing, Matt, that's been a little bit surprising, at least recently, Nikola Jokic has not been playing well. Like past several games now, having a hard time scoring and turning the ball over a lot. So I don't know if there's something OKC is doing that's giving him problems. But whatever it is, I mean, it can't stop now, because we haven't seen a 3-game stretch like this from Jokic in a long time, especially in the playoffs. But I do expect him to figure it out. I don't know if they'll win game 5, but I do think that, yeah, they're just gonna go blow for blow in this series. But I still like OKC. I still think you look at that collection of talent, a little bit of that veteran leadership, and honestly, their defense is pretty good when they're on it. Um, so yeah, I'm still gonna lean OKC, but I think it'll be. I still think it's gonna go 7. I think they'll go trade home court the rest of the series.
I think it's anybody's game, but I'm still gonna lean towards OKC. Maybe just because it just seems like the depth. It's like Golden State, where they have that strength in numbers kind of feeling where they get contributions from guys off the bench. And I'm looking at Caruso, you get Cason Wallace hitting some shots, Wiggins off the bench. Obviously, Jalen Williams is kind of like their backup big off the bench. So they have a lot of guys. Whereas Denver, it's it just feels like it's Russell Westbrook. Like that they got like 6 guys that they play consistently. Can those guys continue to play high minutes and more importantly be effective? Hard to say right now because I mean they did not make a shot at all in game 4. I mean, he had 8 points in a quarter. That's like unheard of now in the NBA today. But there's just so much centered around Jokic where I think the Thunder maybe with Hartenstein, I'm not gonna say he's the Jokic stopper, but he's such a good role player. Like big body guy, he'll bang, he'll get second chance points and rebounds. Like kind of just what you need out of a big. If you don't have a guy like a Jokic or a healthy Embiid or a healthy Anthony Davis, like you just need a scrappy big. Clog up the paint, get rebounds, contest shots. Like he just does dirty work. So I think he needs a little credit, I think, with his ability to play defense on Jokic. But obviously it's a team thing, right? You got Chet. Caruso's guarding guys in the perimeter. So I think OKC they have to like where they are because getting that split told me a lot about that team because you look at last year, it was kind of the same thing, right? Oh, Luca's got him 2-1. Can they close out this game four in Dallas? They come up short. Kind of the same situation this one. Denver had the lead, but OKC came, punched them in the fourth quarter, and then didn't let them get back in the game. So that right there is already a growth moment for this young Thunder team. So you have to be really confident, I think, if you're a Thunder fan, because you got home court. That's what you play for. So I think they're sitting in a good spot right now.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, if you're Denver, we're still waiting for kind of that vintage playoff Jamal Murray explosion
Yeah, but it's
because
not the Lakers. That's
I
why.
mean, I don't know if it's the Lakers thing that, but we've seen throughout his career, uh, I'm not gonna say it's like a Kike thing because Kike goes from like a bad player to a great player, but Jamal Murray goes from a really good player to like it seems like he just can take it to another level. Clutch, shots, elite shot making, playmaking, whatever you want to call it, but still kind of waiting to have that explosion game. I mean, you look at that game three, I think it was that they won. It was his best game of the series scoring wise, right? So I do think they're going to need to lean on him a little bit more because I mean I think Aaron Gordon's going to give you solid minutes every night. Uh, Michael Porter Jr. on the yeah, I mean that dude is a wild card, right? It's like he's going to give you 5 points or like 20. So it's just which Michael Porter are you going to get that night? But Jamal Murray, I think to me has to be that other stabilizing factor, especially when Nikola Jokic hasn't been playing well, right? Obviously, you mentioned it already, though. The Thunder's defenders out on the wing. I mean, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, like Shea. Yeah, they're all elite wing defenders. So not exactly an easy assignment for Jamal Murray, but out of a guy that you've paired with Jokic on purpose, he's a chap. I think we need a little bit more out of him if Denver is going to be competitive the rest of the way. So, um, yeah, I still like the Thunder. I like what you said about the depth. Um, I still think Shea, like, we're still waiting for him to like have maybe like a signature moment. Like he's been playing well, I think the whole series, but still waiting for like that you know,
MVP performance
MVP
kind of.
exactly an MVP type of performance. Because really, I mean, the numbers are not terrible if you look at it, but not what you would expect out of the MVP candidate. Well, to be honest, both of these MVP candidates haven't been playing at their
True.
typical level, I guess you could say, right? So, I mean, but that's the playoffs. But I think it's yeah, who's going to step up the rest of the way because the team seemed, pretty evenly matched when, at least when Denver's like clicking. So we'll see. I do think that, maybe come game six, game seven, uh, the lack of attrition might hurt Denver. I mean, even Jokic is getting a little like he looks a little more tired in the fourth quarter than what we're accustomed to seeing. I don't know if that's because he's out drinking beers after the game one win or whatever. I mean, if there's one guy I'm not going to doubt drinking during the playoffs, it's Nikola Jokic. Dude could like tank a 12 pack every night for the rest of the playoffs, and I wouldn't be concerned. But I don't know. It does seem like he's getting a little bit fatigued out there, so maybe that is a factor. And yeah, like I said, lack of attrition. I mean, he's only human, right? So we'll
Yeah,
see.
it is a factor when you only play six guys.
Exactly. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the way. But yeah, I think we both are um, favoring the Thunder. So let's see. We can move on to the East. Honestly, the East has been pretty entertaining. Um, I think the first round kind of suits best, but really, these are the four teams I think we all kind of expected to be there. Especially after the regular season ended. So we'll start with the Pacers and the Cavs series. Um, I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, like, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to start talking about him a little bit differently too, especially if he makes the Eastern Conference Finals, which would be back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals for this young Pacers team. Um, and they're it seems like that the more they play, the better they get as a collective group. So yeah, I'm like I said, maybe need to start having some uncomfortable conversations about Tyrese, about obviously we know Pascal Siakam's a champ, but such a steady piece for them, right? Um, Miles Turner has been there a long time, but I think we've just seen that Indiana kind of has a lot of depth too. Like they can play, they can go pretty deep, and they're a fun team to watch. Like they get out and they run,
Yeah.
right? That's their style of play. So opposite, I feel like, of Cleveland. But you watch them, I mean, TJ McConnell, like, dude only plays like if he plays 10 minutes, it seems like he gets up like five mid-range shots somehow, just because he's running around, gets to the spot, boom, like it, and they're running back on defense. So um, I think it's a little bit surprising because I thought that the depth of Cleveland, I would have favored a little bit more. Obviously, you got, like I said, Daniel Hunter, Ty Jerome, who had been playing really well. I thought was going to be a big factor in the series, but he really has been pretty quiet. Um, but yeah, I think just the Pacers, maybe I don't. We say style makes matchups, but yeah, Indiana's kind of just running them out of the building every single time. But can't ignore the injuries too, right? Darius Garland obviously missed those first two games. That was huge. Um, and I don't know if he's 100%, but just seems like, Cleveland, if they can't get it done now, right? Like it almost feels like this is their window a little bit because I think contracts wise, right? Like you can't pay everyone. I don't think you can pay Donovan, Garland, and Mobley at that point, right? And still keep that same level of depth. But now I think Spider got he's questionable, I think, right, for tomorrow. So I mean, I don't want to say if he's out, that's it, but he has really been the most consistent guy for this Cleveland team throughout the entire run. Um, so like I don't know. It's a little
This series
sad, I
is
think.
over.
Yeah.
This series is like Golden State and Minnesota. There's like that false hope where, well, if Steph comes back, then we'll see. But they have playoff Jimmy, so maybe he can pull out one. But they have championship DNA with Draymond there, right? Cleveland, they got no championship DNA on this team. And it's just it's kind of disappointing, honestly. Like I get they're gonna say, oh well, Garland was injured and we're missing key pieces. But in game four, like props to them. They win game three, they come out with a sense of urgency. And then game four, it's like, what in the heck was that? Like Donovan Mitchell got hurt later. Like he was playing when you guys were getting killed by 41 points going into halftime. Like
Yeah.
that is absolutely embarrassing. Like embarrassing. Like that should tell you in itself, like how this series has gone. Really. Like the Pacers have controlled this series for the majority of the part. And I just think when you lose that bad,
Yeah.
there really is no coming back from that. Maybe you get lucky because you're at home, but I give them absolutely no shot winning game six in Indiana. Like there's just no shot.
Yeah.
Even if
And
Mitchell and Garland and all those guys are back healthy.
I agree. Unfortunately, like I think Donovan Mitchell obviously is an all-star caliber player. Third string All NBA guy potentially if he has a great year, right? But it just feels like he's not enough to carry this team.
He's
Um,
like a number
and,
two guy then.
and I don't want to say he's a number two, but I mean, you just look at their collective talent. I mean, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen both had great years. Obviously, Mobley's the defensive player of the year. Darius Garland, all star. We know like Max Strus is a solid, starting shooting guard, small forward, wherever you want to play him at, right? Um, he can get hot, and then like I said, the depth, like Ty Jerome, Daniil Hunt, or I keep saying Daniil Hunter. I
DeAndre
keep
Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter. Sorry, I'm so used to football. But I mean, they have a lot of guys that can play, and they were the first seed out of the East for a reason, right? But it's just like who is gonna be the guy to take over or right the ship when things are going wrong? Because I mean, yeah, like you said, Matt, we can't be down 40 in a playoff game that's we're out here fighting for our lives and we're down 40. Like that just can't happen, right? So I don't know, like it just feels like they're missing. I don't want to say a guy because we've seen Donovan Mitchell. He can put up points, right? He can do it. He can do everything, but I don't know if what they're missing, but it just doesn't feel like for whatever reason they're a championship level team now. Like I thought maybe they could make some noise, but it's almost like an aura, not an aura thing, but it's like I don't have that feeling that like I know they're a good team. I know they have good players that can play really well, but why can't I buy into them? I don't know what it is.
They
I don't
have
know if
that
it's a
regular
Cleveland
season narrative.
exactly. I don't know if it's the regular season narrative. I don't know if it's like a Cleveland without LeBron would just never have success, or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm kind of right there with you. Like, I'm sorry, Cleveland. I really not giving you any shot to win the series. Especially with we've seen like Indiana now, in several playoffs. Like they come up in big moments. Like they have guys that are not afraid of the moment. I was talking about Tyrese and Pascal and Miles Turner, but I mean Aaron Nesmith and Nemhard have been there now several times. They can make big plays. They're neither of those guys are afraid of the moment either.
Oh, Nemhard is a big shot maker in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
and yeah,
He's
exactly,
another guy like
exactly.
Murray
He's
gets
another
better.
guy. I was just about to say he turns it on in the playoffs for whatever reason. And I mean they just have a lot of fight. They play together. Which is why like I'm sorry, I don't see them losing three straight games. Especially with how they've looked this far in the series. So I think it's wraps on Cleveland, and this offseason they're gonna have some stuff to figure out for sure. Because I don't know, I don't think you can run it back with the same lineup if you're Cleveland. Like you're gonna have to make some big changes. Um, yeah, we'll see how the offseason goes because I think we're all anticipating a pretty crazy offseason anyway.
Yeah, and I'll
Um,
say this before we transition to the next game. Just kind of disappointing for Cleveland because they really did waste a golden opportunity. And if they're doing some like, oh, let me look down and see how the other East series is going, it's like, man, this
and
was
it's a
like
slugfest
the perfect chance for us to get out of the East. And we'll talk
because
about
they're
the next series, but when the defending champs are on the brink, it's like, how can we not capitalize? How
yeah.
can we not capitalize?
Yeah, unless hey, maybe the Cavs prove us wrong,
Yeah,
but
but they don't have
uh,
LeBron James and Kyrie Irving
yeah, so
and
it might be
Kevin
a
Love.
little, yeah, it might be a little tough to pull off that 3-1. comeback, but maybe they'll prove us wrong. We'll see. But yeah, man, like you said, getting to the last series out east. Now I think people are a little bit surprised with the outcome thus far. I don't know if it's just like a New York Knicks thing, but they've kind of just had the stigma, at least since I've been watching basketball going into even like that 90s esque era. Like they've been close and then they get really bad. And then they get close and then they get, have bad years, rough years or whatever. And now it's like, especially after last year, it's like, oh, they have a really good team, but they can't get it done when it counts, right? But I don't know. Maybe this is that year that they can finally shake that narrative because let's be honest, we talk about it. Playoffs, yeah, you got to be a good team, but you got to get a little lucky too in terms of health for your guys and sometimes other team, right? And we meant well, you said it to me today, even before Jason Tatum. Obviously, thoughts and prayers with him. We don't know what's going on,
Is that
but you said
sincere?
even no, yeah, it is sincere. Well,
Okay.
I'm getting to it. But yeah, even before, he goes down, it's a close game, but New York is battling. They're right there. I think a lot of people expected Boston to come out just like they did in game three and just bombard them. And we're the better team. You had a couple fluke games where we choked away the lead. We'll show you we're the better team. But hey, the Knicks were hanging tough after they were down, double digits in that third quarter and they made a run. All their guys just kind of figured it out, right? Brunson, Bridges, Towns, like these guys had big games tonight. Ultimately, they come out with the win, but can't go without saying now with presumably, I don't know, because I don't think I've heard anything official yet, but presumably with what we've seen without Jason Tatum, which is super unfortunate because honestly, Matt, like I don't want to see um the what do you call it? I don't want to see the Celtics lose without like them being at full strength because then it's like, you know, not as satisfying, I guess. But um I mean even though like but for Tatum though, the Achilles man, like that thing just kills me every time. Like s- seeing it now, I feel like it's been getting more prevalent somehow in the past several years, like football and basketball too, right? But we've seen how it can take guys out for a long time. And now that's twice in the East this year. We saw Dame in the last series, right? And now I mean I hope maybe it's just a hyperextension or strain or something. But based on the look, and we've seen it now several times, like going back to KD, Rogers, Cousin, like all these guys where it's that same motion where they go to plant that back leg and you can kind of see a little rupture or shake of that Achilles area. Um, and so, I mean, just honestly, unfortunate. Um, thoughts and prayers go out to Jason Tatum. Like, he was balling too. Like I was literally gonna be like, man, this is what I need to see out of Jason Tatum, right? Aggressive, confident, and looking to get to like his spots. He wasn't just settling for the three, although he was knocking them down, which is what I was like, okay, you're hot. Okay, yeah, let's shoot him. But when you're not, let's go use your size, use your frame, your handle to be able to get to your spots. And he was killing New York. Like he was keeping them in that game through the third quarter when New York was going on their insane run. But he was the one, keeping them afloat. He finishes with 42. And honestly, probably would have been more. Could would have been closer to a 50-point game for him in the playoffs. Like he was single handedly keeping them afloat. And now I mean, we'll wait to hear the official diagnosis, Matt, but yeah, just brutal. Like I don't wish injuries on anyone. I know there's like certain teams and certain players, people like are like, oh well, but like, nah, we don't do that here. Um, Especially like the Achilles, man. Like that one is just so brutal to me. Like seeing, especially, I think it's a Kobe thing because I saw the downfall kind of right of Kobe's play after the Achilles. He just was never quite the same. So it's like I get that the medicine today is a lot better, but that one is just like I my heart breaks for anyone that has to go through something like that, like the recovery and getting back to normal again. So hopefully, knock on wood, it's not that, but if it is, hoping for a speedy recovery um for Jason Tatum because I mean he is one of the superstars of the game. Like we saw the Superman commercials and everything. Like he's one of the guys that the league is counting on, honestly. But if he's gonna be out, like that's a big blow for that Boston market. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think the Knicks are feeling pretty good. That was probably their biggest win in how many playoffs? It seems like probably since maybe the 90s. Like I don't
Yeah,
know. That was a really really big win for New York. And I think going into this game, it was whoever wins this game, I thought was going to be the favorites, obviously. Like they go back 2-2 to Boston. They're really on a two-game win streak, riding the momentum. Like I think you could say, oh, they might have figured them out, but New York kind of proved like, hey, like we're no fluke. Like Boston was winning this game, but we came back. It wasn't like they I don't think Boston gave this game away like how they did
no,
in the first two
no,
games. Like New York, their guys played well and they earned this you could say a comeback win. I mean, they were down 14, but with the NBA now, sometimes it's a little weird. Like we can't just say, "Oh, just because you're down by 10, you choke the game away." Like the game is
right.
different now. But just the shots that guys were taking, it wasn't just like, "What are you
Tough
like
shots though.
Tatum,
I
bro,
mean,
what are you doing?" Like,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
don't take three contested step back threes in a row, three straight possessions, and then give up a 7-0 run. Like, that's just bad offense. But, Boston made their shots. I think they shot what, 37, 38% from three. Like, that's not terrible, right? So you can live with that, I think. But credit to the Knicks, man. They executed down the stretch. And I think can't believe they're actually on the cusp of going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I never would have
Yeah.
thought that
And
that would happen this year with
yeah,
how it
and
was playing out.
honestly, when I said like, Knicks in six, obviously I was a little bit delusional. I knew how talented Boston was, but I think it's seeing that New York is they're able to somehow find a way to get like the run, right? Like I think in this one, Mikal Bridges, all playoffs really long, but now in this series, like he's showing his value, right? That run in the third, yeah, Jalen went off, but Mikal had hitting some tough shots, like in that mid range, to just keep adding to fuel to the fire. Pat had a couple big shots, and then I mean OG, he's a champ. I think we kind of forget that in itself, but not just an elite defender, but he's not afraid to take and make shots too. So it just kind of all came together for New York, I think. And I like you said, man, I think this was such a big win because this is exactly the type of game that the Knicks were accustomed to seeing them lose, like in the playoffs, right? Like they get close and it's like, oh, we just need a few possessions, can't get it done, and it's like heartbreak for New York all over again, right? But I don't know, maybe it is that Nova connection now, especially with Bridges. Maybe it's Cat, you know, um, revitalizing the offensive big position that for whatever reason Julius Randle couldn't provide. But I feel really good about New York. And honestly, Matt, I know the series aren't over, but I might like them over Indiana in a 7 game series. Um, I don't know. That'd be
That's
kind of
gonna be
interesting. The
interesting.
throwback. I think that's going to be an ugly one.
They
Obviously,
played each other
the
last year too.
yeah, and the
The Pacers
difference,
won.
yeah, but the difference of play style is, like I said, Indiana's just run, 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 and New York it's a little bit more methodical, a lot of pick and roll, matchup hunting with Brunson, right? So I think that's an intriguing matchup. I think it'll be fun to ignite that old rivalry with like when it was like Reggie
Reggie and Spike.
and Ewing and Spike, yeah, and all those times. So I think that'll be fun. That would be a fun series to watch. But obviously, Boston, even without Jason Tatum, still a really good team. So I don't think this one is necessarily over just yet. I think when you're the defending champs and you got your back against the wall, going home, like yeah, now we're down our guy. It's like we gotta win this for him, right? Um, Boston's still a really good team, but it's gonna be who steps up. Or we're gonna need that Jaylen
Jalen
Brown,
Brown, Finals MVP.
exactly that Finals MVP performance from him, and obviously we need the guys to step up. Derek White's gonna have to have a big series the rest of the way. Drew Holiday, Porzingis. I don't know how his health is doing, but they're going to need him to be playing extremely well again. And Peyton Pritchard, who had a pretty good game in that game three win um, off the bench, he was huge for them. So, I mean, the Celtics are still pretty deep. Like, as much as it sucks to lose a top 10 player, like, they're still pretty deep. They got guys that can kind of step up and fill the void, but there will be a noticeable hole for that Boston team, especially when he's kind of that. I don't want to say he's like the heart and soul, but he's definitely the face of that team for sure, right? Um, but we'll see how it kind of plays out the rest of the way. But if it is what we're all fearing, um, I think yeah, unfortunately, this series might be over for New York. I
Yep.
think it might be a little bit too hard for Boston to overcome losing their guy. So yeah, unfortunate, but hopefully, wishing all the best to the JT up in Boston. But yeah, man, uh, that's
Got to
it for
talk
the
about the most
playoffs.
exciting part of the NBA
Yeah,
day
so
today.
that's it for the playoffs, and somehow there's news in the NBA that is not a trade that is the most exciting thing, I guess, in the news cycle today. Um, and that would be, Matt, somehow, some way, the NBA draft lottery order was decided, and the first pick is going to the Dallas Mavericks. Like, okay, let's take a second here.
1.8% chance
1.8% chance.
to get the first pick.
So not impossible, technically, right? But I mean, it does look a little fishy. I'm just gonna say, and I saw another clip today, right, of LeBron on the
Yeah,
McAfee pod
McAfee.
going like, I'm from Cleveland and I end up going to Cleveland. Patrick Ewing from New York ends up going to the Knicks, and then Derrick Rose Bulls, and you're just like, I'm not saying blah blah blah. But now it is interesting, right? Obviously, that this whole Luka trade situation, Nico Harrison, why didn't Adam Silver step in? Blah 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 blah. And now somehow, I don't know, maybe let's just not be cynical for a second, right? Not gonna say it's rigged, not gonna say any of this stuff about, was orchestrated behind the scenes. At the very least, isn't it just the basketball gods saying, here, Nico, like the fans hate you, but here's Cooper Flag at the very least. So maybe they'll forget next year. You're still going to catch a lot of heat for a long time, but we'll take away Luka Doncic and we'll give you a younger. Uh, I'm not going to say he's Luka because their games are different, but we'll give you another. Actually, that's kind of funny. It's three white dudes in a row now.
Another white
It's
guy,
like
another white
Dirk
superstar.
to Luka to potentially Cooper Flag.
But he's
Um,
American though.
yeah. But yeah, here you go. The next big thing. And it's just like, what? So I mean, you gotta feel bad for the other teams because
The Wizards, the Jazz.
Wizards, Jazz, Hornets, like, yeah, that's tough. Um Tanking is not for the weak, I guess
No.
you could say. So oh I feel for those teams. Um you never know how the draft is gonna end up, but presumably we're looking at a Cooper Flag in the NBA on the Dallas Mavericks, and they rolled out that projected starting lineup. We don't know what Gaffer's going to be, but I mean, Kyrie, Cooper Flag, and Anthony Davis on the same floor. That
And Clay
ah,
on the
I mean, oh yeah,
wing.
I can't forget Clay.
We got
PJ Washington,
Lively,
I think
rim
will still be there.
protector.
Lively. Um, yeah, I don't even. I'm a little speechless. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know, Matt. This one, like giving them the number one overall pick, it's a little too fishy for me.
I
Like
think I
even the
laughed. I was
fact,
like, no way.
yeah, I think we all laughed. I think everyone that found out was just like, of course, right? Because the NBA doesn't have enough drama as it is, so let's go add some more in the middle of the playoffs, right? Um, but yeah, like, come on, Adam, like you had to give them the number one pick. I mean, giving them a top three pick in itself would have been like Dallas is getting a top three pick. They were right there on the bubble, and they're good. You're telling me they're going to get a lottery pick? That already in of itself would have been a huge win. But he's like, nah. You know what? For all the trouble you faced, um, here's Cooper Flag.
What if Nico
So,
says, whoa, we can get a king's ransom for this number one pick? Let's
oh man,
trade it away.
I would pray for that. It would just,
He
it would just
actually,
be too funny.
they
Honestly, it
might
would be
burn
too
his
funny.
house down in Dallas, I
Yeah,
think, if
they
that
actually
happens.
might. He might have to actually be the GM of the Dallas Mavericks and not live in Texas or something. Like do everything remote. I don't even know. But yeah, it would that would be hilarious. We'll see how it goes. Presumably, I mean, but isn't that almost perfect though for Dallas? Because like everyone was telling you, oh, what are you gonna do long term? Yeah, AD is this old, Kyrie is this old. You know, you don't have another guy that can take over once they kind of age up. Here you go. We'll take care of the next 10 to 15 years for you. Here's Cooper Flag, who's, presumably going to be the next, big thing in the NBA's. Man, I'm like, come on, Adam. Come on. Like, we're going to give him the number one pick, really. Um,
Yeah.
but
You know what was going to be scary too? Like you look at the draft results. Like obviously, I didn't expect Dallas to get the first pick. Well, when they had like the top four, I was like, oh, Dallas. But no shot they get the first pick, right? But I was looking at, okay, the Hornets. Like, okay, well, if he goes to the Hornets, like, well, RIP.
yeah,
But
well,
you know, the
thank goodness he
Sixers,
didn't.
it's like,
Yeah.
well, he's East Coast, like, from Maine, right? Kind of close to home, maybe. Um, maybe Paul George and Embiid stay healthy, but eh. But the Spurs was really interesting. I was like, ooh, if the Spurs get the first pick, that's
Oof.
like unfair. Like, how the heck did they get Wemby and Cooper Flag in 3 years? Like,
And
that
you'll
is
have
just
De'Aaron
ridiculous.
Fox, and they're linked to
You got
Giannis now,
Cass,
too. So it's
but
like
now I think that's where
Castle. Yep.
it's almost I don't want to say better for the Spurs that they didn't get the first pick because it's like, well, if they had the first pick, and then obviously the Giannis news is kind of leaking, like he's exploring options or he's thinking about it. It's like, well, if the Spurs wanted to make a trade, like, well, they're obviously going to ask for the Bucks would ask for the number one pick, which would be Cooper Flag, right? So now it's like,
That would be interesting
well,
though.
like now they're at the point where, well, they're not going to get Cooper Flag. So can they ship off this number two pick to Milwaukee? Like that's something I think Milwaukee genuinely has to consider
I
because
think you
if you
have
don't
to blow
trade
it up.
Giannis, yeah, they have nothing right now. There's no there's nothing with draft capital. So yeah, it sucks. It's not Cooper Flag, but it at least gives you a chance to retool, maybe
Yeah,
rebuild within the
I
next
think you
three,
have
four
to.
years.
I think if you're Milwaukee, you tried your best with Dame and everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. But yeah, like this is a prime opportunity. When are you ever gonna get? I mean, Mikal Bridges went for 5 first round picks, so I'm gonna keep saying that. Look what Giannis is gonna go for. Like, he could go for like an all-star and 6 first round picks or something, like honestly, something like that.
You'd
So,
probably have to give up Castle, this number two pick at that's like starting package, I would think.
and then
Uh,
what?
They have a lot of
Four
other picks
more,
though.
1st round picks over the next 3 years, whatever it is. Like it's going to be a haul for Giannis, but
Yeah,
I think if you're Milwaukee, you like exactly what Dame was in Portland. It's just not going to work. That you tried right to build around this team, and you've been in contention the past 5 years, but that time has just passed, and I think you got to hit the reset button. Uh, invest in the younger stock, and you just got to go for it. But
I think so. And they got a championship out of it. So
yeah,
it's not like
not
it
a
was a
complete
failure. Like Giannis, he
exactly.
delivered on a ring.
Yeah, so it'll be fun, Matt.
They got to
To
trade Dame
see,
too if they
yeah. Oh
trade
yeah, you got to
Giannis.
trade Dame too. Yep.
Get him out of there.
So
Do not let him suffer
yeah,
in his last couple of years in the NBA.
yeah.
Send him to the
Um.
Lakers.
Oh man,
Gonna have
I don't even think I want
150
that.
points. Gonna give up 160.
Yeah, that's terrible. That sounds terrible. Yeah, I love Dame, but no, thank you. Um. Anyway, Matt, let's. I think we're pretty good on basketball. We can look to wrap it up there. I have a little bit of football news, I guess, more for you. Actually, really only for you. Um, I mean, Jerry got some receiver help. It just happened to be
Let's
the most.
go.
I don't even know how to describe George Pickens, but um, talent wise, there's no denying the talent there. Um, but obviously, there's been some question marks around him, right? With consistency, his effort, and uh, you know, not fighting the DBs on the field. But there's no denying George Pickens' talent. That's for sure. So I don't know, Matt. Let's get your initial reaction on the whole thing now that you've had some time to like kind of think about it.
Well, my initial reaction is I am ecstatic just because we did something. We actually did something proactive. I'm not saying it's gonna work out, and me, I'm gonna get all emotional. Oh, Pickens, what the heck? Like, why aren't you doing this? Da, 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 da. But for a team where their GM literally does not do anything really in free agency, like this is really exciting for Cowboys fans, I think. Um, Obviously, there's a lot of risk, but there's a lot of reward too that potentially could come out of this. People are saying, "Oh, well, they gave up a third round pick. That's kind of a lot for George Pickens." But you know what? Look at we gave up a fourth round pick for Jonathan Mingo last year. Jonathan Mingo, like, that should tell you enough. Like, what's a third round versus a fourth rounder gonna do at this point? I think
Yeah, it's kind of a
Pickens
steal.
Pickens, like, yeah, it's a high risk, high reward, but on the Steelers, like he was supposed to be the guy, like expectations for him, it's not going to be that anymore. There's not that pressure. Oh, Pickens, you have to be the number one guy. Like it's all on you. Like no, like you got CeeDee Lamb across of you now. Like he's already a proven top five receiver in this league, and that's going to make everybody else's life easier. And he's going to feast, I think, on getting secondary coverages. So it's really just about keeping his emotions in check. Um, but what I'm encouraged by is one is Dak Prescott. When you talk about character, Dak
Yeah.
Prescott is Walter Payton Man of the Year guy. Like he's a high character guy, and I think he's going to work with Pickens. They're going to try to get on the same page. Like I think CD and Pickens are working out together, which is great to see. Obviously before the trade, so I already like this bond. Like Jordan Lewis is gone. That was kind of the Pickens and Jordan Lewis were the guys butting heads. So that's not a problem this year because he's in Jacksonville. Um, but just Pickens in itself, maybe I'm being a little too emotional, but we're we're back. We're back in
Oh
contention.
my God, we
We
just got
are
a we're
back.
back
We're
in
back.
May.
Yes, we are back. You know why?
Oh my God.
Because don't do that. I suffered for a long time last year. It was some dark days. There has been dark days in Dallas since I was born because I haven't seen an NFC championship yet. But just health wise, if we are healthy, 100% healthy with this core, we're back. We are going to contend with the Eagles and knowing the NFC
And the
East.
Commanders?
Yes. Yes, we are going
Okay.
to. I don't believe in Debo Samuel. I don't. I think he's
I believe in
washed.
Jaden Daniels. I believe in Jaden Daniels.
But I believe in a healthy Dak Prescott. I believe in a healthy Dak Prescott. That's obviously a big if he stays healthy. But Washington, yeah, they had a good run, but the Eagles exposed a little bit of kind of how to beat them. Just, like they're not perfect. Like their defense is not as good as Dallas's. They really were, hey, Jaden Daniels, you kind of need to make a play for us late in this game, kind of pull out a miracle for us. Like it was kind of a Kirk Cousins Minnesota year, like that one season where they were just winning all these close games. And then the next year, it's like, well, downhill. Like Washington had a lot of those games, and I'm just saying it's not going to happen like that again. So
That's
unless
true.
they've really improved,
Hail Mary, the
yeah, like that. There's a lot of games that they're just like, wow, how did they
that,
even
that
get
one
that one?
against you guys that
Well, we
they
won
should
the
have
game.
won. I know, but
Okay,
that
well, you
was
could say, well, we could have won
insane.
that one, but the
Yeah,
Hail Mary one, like, well, there's something called a sophomore slump. Look at CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is a perfect example. Like you can get really high and then all of a sudden you just kind of we just need to see. The Eagles, they're Super Bowl champs, yada yada yada. But you know what? Nobody's repeated as NFC East champ in quite some time now. And I'm just saying, I have to just go with history. And now I have Pickens and CD Lamb with a revived running game because we have the next Tony Pollard 2.0. You could say we got the next Devon Achan and Jaden Blue. We got a revitalized offensive line now. Jerry went with the boring pick, Tyler Booker, but I already said he's going to be the next
hey,
Zach Martin.
hey, I gotta listen to that Tyler Booker speech at least once a
Tyler
day, man.
Booker, yeah, like that's the kind of guy you want building the culture. You surround him. Put Pickens next to him. Put Pickens next to Dak. Like Coach Schottenheimer better be talking with him a lot because he emphasized culture. And I just think Micah Parsons, obviously, like he's the head of the snake for us. We got that cancer lazy butt Demarcus Lawrence out of there. Like this is Micah's team. Micah's team. He's got a revitalized young linebacker core. Overshawn probably is going to come back later in the season, but Maris has been making strides. Obviously, they got Bland on the outside. We got guys. I just think if we're healthy, we got that run game. I think Jaden Blue is going to be a good pick for us. But now that we got two guys on the outside and Jake Ferguson down the middle and Jalen Tolbert, he's a solid number three, number four. Like I can work with that. So it's exciting now. Like I feel confident that we're gonna beat the Eagles on opening day, and that's gonna be like, here come the Cowboys this year. Like, let's go.
Okay, well, I mean, I like the Tyler Booker pick. I I don't
As a
know.
Raku,
I think the talent is undeniable from George Pickens, but you gotta keep in mind if Mike Tomlin couldn't really reel that in, you're gonna trust in Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know. I'm just hey, you never know. You never know. But I think more than anything, it's not the I mean the fighting, as long as he doesn't do anything insane, it's not a problem. For me, it's like some of the plays were earlier on, he's like not giving it his all, blocking, or we've seen those
yeah,
clips, right? And that's I'm sure that's something that will fuel him, to be better. Because at the end of the day, as long as he's trying to get better and is going to work on his himself and improve his game, like the sky's the limit for the dude. Honestly, like the catches he's made, honestly, over the past several years are some of the most insane catches you'll ever see. Like I think the one where he's like what like upside down, falling down one handed. Like that's the one that comes to my mind every time, and I'm like, freak of nature, dude. So
yep.
no denying the talent. We'll see how it pays off for
Woo-hoo.
Dallas. I know you're all excited, so I'm not going to burst your bubble in May.
NFL better watch
But
out, man. I'm
all
excited for that. I'm glad we got that opening that first game of the season because everybody's complaining, oh, how come Dallas gets it? But that's a very enticing matchup. And I love the chance that we get to make a statement
in
against
week
our
one,
rivals. Yeah. Best time to play them. I want to play them week one because now you're almost game planning for that game. Like, yeah, the Eagles are going to do the same thing, but they're going to have the ring ceremony. Oh yeah, we're the Super Bowl champs. And then Dak Prescott comes into your house where he owns you when he's healthy. Like, here we come.
mm,
Like,
okay.
I like that matchup. I think it's good. And
Football season can't come
and we
fast
we
enough.
get it's like a mini bye into week two. Like that's like almost perfect. You get that extra rest. So
Mm,
I love that for Dallas. But Pickens, man, he that is such a huge for a huge pickup for us. Like I'm so stoked right now. Like I haven't felt this excited since like 2023 season
mm.
when I actually went to those games. But it's like last year was some really dark times,
Yeah,
some dark
you weren't even
days.
like in it, so that was pretty sad.
Yeah, so maybe it's that time of the year, when we're down and we're coming back up and everybody's starting over. But man, I can just imagine, like, man, George Pickens he's gonna play well because I think he's playing for a contract. He wants the bag, even if he leaves next
Hmm.
year. Like, if that's what you're thinking, go ball out. Go ball out and get the bag. Like, Jerry's not gonna pay you, but you know what? Help us this year.
Yep,
You help us this year, then you can get your bag and go somewhere else. Like,
yep, that's
got no
true.
problem with that. And we'll get a
Okay.
commissary pick at least. So we'll get that third rounder back.
Yeah. Well,
NFL better
okay.
watch out,
Glad,
man.
yeah, glad you got a little Cowboys delusion off your
Give us
chest in
Patrick
May.
Mahomes week two. Give us Patrick
Okay.
Mahomes week two. We'll
All
take them
right.
both down.
See, I'm gonna cut you off there because now you're actually
Give us
delusional.
Josh Allen week three. Give
So,
us Joe Burrow week
um,
four. We'll take them all down.
careful what you wish for. Nah, but
Joe Burrow
yeah,
got no defense.
we okay. We'll move on to some baseball here, kind of bring you back down to earth a little bit.
Oh well,
Um,
because why? Because Cabrera got hurt.
no, I didn't even see. I didn't even. I heard about it. I didn't know how bad it was, but I know he got hurt. That it's kind of bad, right? It was like an ankle or something.
Yeah, it was a. I
Like
don't want to
he
say like a.
twisted his or broke it.
Yeah, I don't. I
Oof.
couldn't tell. Like I didn't read anything after the game yet, but it was watch. I was watching it live. I was like, oh. I was like initially I was like, oh, like he maybe
His
just
foot
felt
was like the
funny.
wrong way, right?
Yeah, and then I was like, oh.
Eee.
It gave me
Yeah.
like those Paul George kind of
Oh,
like vibe. Like I think Paul George's was a little more gruesome, but
oh man.
you could just
The
feel the energy. Just like everybody was just, even the
oh
Mariners were just like, oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
and he wasn't moving. So
Yeah. Sucks
it's
for
just
Waldo
sad,
too.
man.
Like,
Like
yeah, the dude is a yeah. You
he's
never
a
doubt his
good
effort.
kid. No, like
Yeah.
he's a great kid. Like you always want a guy like that on the team. Like he can literally play all over the field. He's not gonna be an all-star kind of player, but like a guy who's gonna bring it every day, give it his all, can help you with multiple positions. He's a great locker room guy. He's been on the Yankees his entire life. So I'm hoping that, I mean, I'd be shocked honestly if he comes back this season. Um, but yeah, that's a tough blow for us.
Yeah.
Because really, we were playing so well. Like, I think that we won 5 out of 6 now. You know, kind of that roller coaster. Like the pitching, I'm just still not like the pitching just drives me insane. Even the hitting too. It's like some games like today, like we can just bust out, and then the next day we'll get shut out probably. So watch us get shut out tomorrow against the Mariners. Like it wouldn't even surprise me. But it's just finding that consistency. Um, Devin Williams, obviously, with his big meltdown, had a big, I guess, bounce back last week against the Padres, which was exciting. Came in extra innings,
Yeah, I thought
held
that
the
was
goose
huge for
egg.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, the New York Yankees actually played situational baseball with a runner on second. Waldo, actually Oswaldo Cabrera, lays down a bunt, moves the runner to third, and then JC Escara comes in, pinch hits, has 2 strikes on him, hits a fly ball to left field, sac fly, walk off. So that's beautiful to see. Just Yeah, that's beautiful baseball right there. So we just need to continue to build, just be consistent. Like that's the only thing right now. But yeah, kind of just a stinger right now because it's like, yeah, we're playing pretty good. Trent's obviously just going berserk, hitting the ball right now. But yeah, that Cabrera injury kind of just killed the vibe. And you can tell with the post game interviews as well. Like, nobody really cared about, yeah, we won the game today. Woohoo. But it was all about Oswaldo. So kind of unfortunate, but I think going into tomorrow, we do have a 3-game lead in the division. So let's just keep building on that and keep
Yeah.
stacking wins.
Yeah. Also, Aaron Judge is a monster, so congrats on that. Uh, at least during
Hey,
the regular
stay
season.
healthy and get that triple crown.
Yeah. So congrats on that, I guess. Um, but okay. I'll talk about the Dodgers really fast. Like, I don't have a ton I really need to say. Uh, it kind of sucks we split the Arizona series, but I mean, we were in one of the games of the year already thus far. Um, go up 8-3, go down 9-8, then 11-8, then tie the
Jeez.
game at 11, and then bust it open with
Shohei.
a 3-run bomb. Like that was a great game. Even though we came out flat in game three and got shut out. But hey, 1-2-2 in Arizona. Like Arizona's a good team. They got guys. Um, Corbin Carroll's had a little bit of a resurgence this year too. So yeah, I mean, not a ton to complain about. I will just say though, man, we need our starting pitchers to come back. Thank goodness for Tony Gonsolin. But yeah, like if we had Glass now and Snell and honestly, I think Clayton's gonna have to pitch when he comes back for us. I think next week. So that'll be fun to watch. Dominant MLB pitcher throw like 88 miles an hour. Um, to guys nowadays. So that would be fun to look out for. But other than that, just staying afloat offensively. It's hard with Tommy and Teo out, but thank goodness for Andy Pajes that kind of honestly saved his career with the bat. So and then the top of the lineup now absolutely bonkers. Shohei is going nuts. Mookie is getting his groove back, and Freddie could be the MVP at this if the season ended today. He's getting like 370, 1100 OPS, like and he's doing this all right after he tweaked his ankle in the bathroom, by the way. So, uh, good for Freddie. Yeah, as long as the health is okay, I think Roki will figure his stuff out. Like he'll be okay. But um, hey, it would be great if we had Blake Snell and Tyler Glass now. Just saying, like in that rotation, that'd be really nice. Especially with, like I said, with Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May had a bounce back outing. So, oh, I mean, so far so good in Dodgerville. Just sucks that the Padres. Oh, thank God they lost tonight. But Padres and Giants, even Arizona, it's gonna be a fun year for sure out west. So, um, yeah, Matt, I think that's all I have for the Dodgers. Honestly, we can
Hitter
wrap it
time.
already. Like, yeah, can look to get into our Jerry Jones Award.
Okay, Jerry Jones Award winner this week has to be the Cleveland Cavaliers for me. We talked about it earlier, so I won't get into too much detail. Just a pretty sad effort um, going into game four. Um, to be down 41 at the half in a playoff game when you're basically all you guys are playing is pretty embarrassing. Especially for the number one seed in the East. Like, unacceptable right there. That is unacceptable. It drives me crazy because if that was my favorite team, I would be pissed. um, but yeah, just Cleveland, straight up, plain and simple. You can't come out that flat after winning a big road game on the road and then get killed the next game. Just terrible. Terrible.
Okay, Matt. Well, my fan tribute shout out to the state champ for baseball and softball in I think it's the open division, right? Wherever the highest division is. Um, I mean, St. Louis, hey, gotta tip my cap to them. Uh, Obviously Benny Agbayani there, resurgence of that St. Louis baseball program. Um, Still can't believe Kamehameha got bounced in the first round with all that talent.
They killed
Um,
themselves. They shot themselves in the foot.
yeah, but uh, I know disappointing there for them, but yeah, congrats to St. Louis. And then on the flip side, Milani, um, go back to back in softball, right? Got a little dicey at the end, but they were able to pull it off. So congrats to those girls. And then Ryan's sister, I don't know if you know, Ryan's
Yeah,
sister's
Cody
on the team.
Anchetta
Yeah, she hit. I think it was a grand slam, right? In
in
in the
back-to-back
championship game.
games.
So, oh, she had back to back game. Dang,
Yeah, she hit it against the against Punahou in the semifinals, and
dang.
then in the
Okay,
championship too. That was the winning swing. So
yeah.
pretty
So
cool
huge.
moment.
Yeah, cool moment. Um, Happy for them. But yeah, man, that's kind of my fan tribute for the week.
All right, the state champs for baseball and softball. I
Shout
like
out the
that.
state champs. At least we got one OIA in there. So
Yeah, they got one ILH in there. So
okay, calm down. Back five over there.
hey, Pac-5 did good this year for baseball. I know Jaden was upset because they lost to St. Louis for baseball, but hey, ILH represent. All right, sports fact time.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we are recording on May 12th. I'll go back to 2013. Um, the PGA Players Championship. I think this guy by the name of Tiger Woods won his second Players Championship. in 2013 on this day. I don't know how many times he's won just a golf tournament in his life.
Hmm.
Like that should just be a fun fact in itself, not just majors, but just literally just winning any kind of golf tournament. Um, Tiger Woods, you could make a case, is the GOAT, if not one of the GOATs in all of sports, really.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He's insane.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that'll do it for this pod. We'll be back again next week as we start to or I guess wind down on the season. Um, and yeah, I mean, we'll be back again next week for some more basketball talk, even though we are coming up on the end here. Um, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the future holds. I think me and Matt will have some discussions, but yeah, we'll talk about it. But until then, have a good week, everyone. Stay safe as usual, and we'll see you guys next week.